All right, Mike. Welcome everybody to another edition of Convos with Bishop. I'm your man, I'm your host, Marvel Bishop. Appreciate everybody for the YouTube viewership, for the SoundCloud, everybody who's rocking with us. And as I always say, it's always a great day to have a great day. And the reason why is because I'm with somebody very, very special. Very, very special. Do you know how special you are? Do you know that? Do you know how special you are?
I appreciate it. I don't think I'm too special. But.
Listen, man, as far as like respect and just someone who I definitely admire, and is actually like 10 years younger than me, which is crazy, but it's fine. But I appreciate everything that you do, man. My man Connor, man. Wade Hawk, how you doing, man?
Good, brother. You?
How's everything?
All good.
Good. How you feeling, man? What's your mental health from like a 1 to 10? 10 being the best. How do you feel right now?
I'd say I'm always hovering around a, 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You're the type of person, man, that always is. Well, at least I think that you portray as like being always like positive and everything. Like, where exactly does that come from? Like your energy, because you're always on go and you're always on 100.
I think you wake up every day and it's up to you if you want to have a positive and good day. I don't think you need to be like, I hope today goes well.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you should be worried about the extroverted, effects of everything that might happen to you today. But you should wake up and you decide in the morning when you wake up, like, is today going to be a good day? Or are you going to kick ass? Or is today just going to be, another day where you're going through the motions? So
Do you
I think it's how you wake up is super important. And then I think I'm blessed with really good people in my life. And,
Nice.
I feel fortunate, so there's nothing not to be happy about. Look where we live.
Yeah, we're in the best city in the world, man. One of the best cities, pretty much here.
I think right now we are.
You think right now Miami is the best city in the world?
I think the intellectual capital that has arrived to this city in the last year, the room for opportunities, the growth, the lifestyle, the access to whoever you want. I think it's so unique and special right now. Where, it's not bad here.
Yeah, it better
not a bad
be.
place to be.
First of all, it better be fucking special because like rent is like $5,000 for a fucking 700 square foot room right now.
Yeah, I think it's gonna keep going that way.
You really think so? It's gonna get worse?
I think for me it gets better. That's better.
Well, okay, all right. For us, it's gonna be better. But
I
like,
when
because as far as
rent
what
goes
you
up
do,
is good.
Yeah.
No, I think we've got a really good guy in charge. DeSantis and Suarez are
definitely
obviously contributing to that, and I think a lot of people got their first taste in Miami like the past year and a half. A lot of people didn't really come down here as often. They got their first taste, and people are happier here.
Yeah.
Like you go to people in Miami are genuinely happy. It's
Bro, I think
happiest city in the world, country, and the healthiest.
And the
right now.
healthiest. Yeah, that's crazy. I was like, wow, like we have like two of the best like traits when it comes to like just people in general and also like overall like atmosphere. But obviously like you're definitely you definitely made your stamp here in Miami. But before we get into what I want to get into, let's get into like let's get into prior. As far as telling a little bit about yourself, whatever pretty much you want to share, and I definitely want to see like how did you like your fire and like your passion and like where does that all come from? So the floor is yours.
Okay, I grew up in South Jersey. Came from a great family. I think I always had high ambitions. Always a high competitive person through sports, through college. I've always, wanted to be the best version of myself. I think my family supported that, and then it's kind of carried on ever since, all the way back to sports as a kid. I always just wanted to be the best I could be. I think life's too short not to, give it 110 every day. Like, so I've always been a high, I think, work ethic person, and then I went to school at North Carolina, played college ball for a little bit.
Tar Heels?
No, at Elon University.
Okay.
E1AA.
Cool.
Did that for a little bit. This knee didn't really cooperate too much.
It happens.
A lot of knee injuries, but went to New York after school. Did JP Morgan, BlackRock. Was doing hedge fund sales for a little bit, and then started my own investment fund just about 2 years ago. I think I had enough people trusting what I was doing and following my moves, and ability to raise capital quickly, and kind of got lucky a few times certainly. So I started my own fund and moved out of I came for vacation to Miami, in December, 2-week vacation that turned into home base. I'm one of these New Yorkers that raised your rent. by coming here and bringing the crew with me.
That's why he's saying that he likes it because hey, he makes more money.
I might have something to do with the traffic that is
a little bit probably.
Hopefully followed. So sorry about that, but yeah. Now I'm just moving and shaking in Miami. I run a unconstrained investment fund. I am a managing partner in a really fast growing property management business. I manage some money in venture and some people might think I work in nightlife just because I go out quite a bit. And for me, it's just an opportunity to, I think it's a networking machine. It's pretty crazy. I'm young, I'm 27, but I've probably met, a bulk, probably half of my friends I've met in the last year. It's pretty,
really?
It's pretty crazy to in
well,
1 year.
We met through nightlife.
I think you meet a lot of people. There's a lot more than the consumption side of, nightlife. Sure, it's fun, but you start to pay attention to who everyone is around you, and you start to have an intuition on who's real, who's not.
Yeah.
It's a pretty serious ecosystem of people that can afford to do these tables every night and all that. And I also, I enjoy it. I think it's fun.
But even the people who necessarily can't afford it, they can actually introduce you to the people who can.
Correct, 100%.
So before we even get into that whole atmosphere when it comes to the nightlife, because you're very, very unique when it comes to that. So you said about 2 years ago you started up a investment fund, right? And you had a bunch of people who you had to get them to trust you, And trust is definitely and integrity is definitely big. I think that's one of our main commonalities, I should say, when it comes to us being friends, us being like-minded individuals. Because before you even start, you have to get people to trust you. Right. So what was your process in order to get people to trust you with their livelihood, with their money, their capital? And we're not talking about chump change here. We're talking about a serious fucking bread. So what is the process with that on gaining that trust?
I think it's always being a man of your word from the get-go. I mean, I think that's something that my friends would say about me. I'm not a capper. I'm a real guy. And I think just people recognize real. People always ask, how'd you meet these people? It's just he identified me or I identified him, and we could just tell they're real guys.
Yeah.
And girls, of course. But I think just being a man of my word, anyone that gets, becomes successful and doesn't admit to getting lucky a few times is crazy. Certainly got lucky a few times, and then I think a lot of times people see, whether it's the lifestyle or this, they want to be a part of it because they want to, I think that's important too, is people being attracted to what's going well. Who doesn't want to be a part of something that's, that's succeeding?
Yeah, it pretty much goes hand in hand when it comes to with people who see what you're doing and they actually want to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what's pretty crazy is that you're very unique, man. And the reason why I'm saying you're very, very unique is because there's not necessarily a lot of people out here, especially who live in fucking Miami. But I think honestly the reason why you are and the reason why we also connect too, because you're also a fellow tri-state. I'm from New York as well. From Baldwin. But without that being said, really trying to connect with people here pretty much in Miami that is not necessarily, here for the front for the gram and here for the non-meaningful things in life and the materialistic life things. But at the same time too, with you're not that, but I think the reason why you're very, very unique is I think you definitely bring a very a breath. What's the term I'm looking for? Thank you very much. Breath of fresh air when it comes to actually in nightlife. But the funny part is you're not in nightlife, but you're able to use nightlife and basically convey this whole entire lifestyle and connections with people, which is not necessarily easy. So for the audience, how do you do that? You know what I'm saying? Without getting caught up with all the bullshit that nightlife has to offer.
I think the wisest quote that we've probably all heard 100 times: you are a product of your 5 closest friends, or who you surround yourself with. Mm-hmm. So I think unapologetically, constantly evolving your ecosystem and your circle to not only remove people, that aren't, contributing to moving you forward from a success standpoint, like unapologetically moving those people out of your circle and constantly trying to level up your own, I think raises you, as a person, from a success standpoint. I think it's really powerful when you really start to become extremely calculated and intentional with who you spend your time with and how you spend your time. Like that's my biggest credit to success is always constantly like, I'd rather go to a boring dinner with my older friends and have an intelligent conversation than maybe go to some house music event that's probably way more fun with the guys I've done it 25 times with. So I think just trying to be smart about where you're spending your time, and then mixing it up. Like I think your network is your net worth. Like it's not about who you know. It's who knows you.
Yeah.
So
that's the
instead of going out with my same the same exact 4 or 5 guys every night and having that same group of friends, if I wasn't intentionally trying to mix it up and trying to I'm curious what these guys are up to. I really enjoy them. I want to know how he's doing, how he's doing here. How could I help his business? What connection could I maybe bridge a connection for that would, move his business forward, that it would end up working out for me too. And then you create this ecosystem of, work hard, play hard individuals that are all trying to help each other.
Which you are the definition of work hard, play hard, by the way.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I certainly, enjoy it, too. But I can't tell you how many times I don't feel like going out, but I'll go out because I have FOMO from a business perspective on, I believe you're a handshake away from someone changing your life.
And the funny part is, though, is don't you feel sometimes the times that you don't necessarily want to go out is the time that you can actually make that next
Every
big
time
deal?
I have this FOMO in me where the last thing I want to do is go out on a Monday, and every time I have that attitude, then I go out, something happens where I shake the right hand, and then I'm like, damn it,
Yeah.
I should just stay.
Yeah.
But there's obviously, I'm not preaching to go out every night. There's a balance, but for me, it's the more people I'm meeting, the more connections I'm having, the better it is for my business. I enjoy it. I love meeting new people and having that epic, weekend together. It's so fun for me. So every weekend I just have people visiting and I'm getting connected with better people, and I enjoy it so much because it's you get to. That's why I live in Mykonos in the summer.
Yeah.
Every single week in Mykonos.
Which I'm going, by the way.
Yeah. Every week it's just it's a whole new army of people that from all over the world that are, primarily very successful, and people thought I was crazy living in Mykonos the whole summer. The amount of business and relationships that I fostered from spending 2 months in Mykonos has been exponential for my growth, for my business, for everything. So it's just having good intentions, but also just being a real guy that people can count on, and
of course
taking care of people for nothing in return, just because I think people recognize that and they appreciate it.
I just realized something, that whenever you go out and whenever I do see you and whenever you're doing your big dances, whenever I friggin' film you on IG stories, you're always with new people, but it doesn't feel like that.
I think
it doesn't.
I think I have a really big team. I have a lot of people that I would trust behind my back to, hopefully say good things about me, and then that I would have, their back if they needed me for something. So I really do. I have a lot of close friends. I think keeping your circle. A lot of people preach keeping your circle small, and if you keep your circle strong and powerful, you don't have to keep it small. If you have enough people that you can trust, and you're it's done wonders for me to have a big circle.
Yeah.
But you have to be super smart about
those are just people, man, that just try to act cool.
You have to be smart about who you let in, of course. But I don't know, man. I think another problem people get is, I don't know why the human being is so naturally envious. But when I see someone doing really well, doing better than me, I'm super happy for them and want to know what they're doing. I want to know exactly how are they doing this, this lifestyle, and I'm gonna be on top of them to see where I can add value or connect the dots, because that's incredible how he's doing that, or how he's exited 2 companies, or I get super excited about people doing well.
Yeah, same here.
I think the natural human being just gets it's this envious, it's this uncomfortable insecurity, and for me it's man, my whole life I'm just looking up to people trying to level up, and other people I think they think about it the wrong way.
Yeah, I think it could actually be at times maybe a Miami problem.
Yeah, I think there's obviously this city. It's a lot of flash. It's a lot of people would rather look a certain way than actually be genuinely happy or be genuinely successful. They'd rather go and some of it is a show. But when you find the guys that aren't out there doing the show, and it's just them just having a good time, or them, whatever their desires are, you find a lot of there's a lot of real guys still out here.
Of course, definitely.
But there's certainly a lot of flash and charade that's probably not as real and genuine. But it's easy to get trapped in this it's almost too fun sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
The city has there's obviously a huge element of distraction and bad paths you can go down by spending a lot of time out and about in the scene. So you have to be super careful on your own, and you have to be extremely accountable. And maybe however you keep yourself accountable.
Yeah. Some
people can do it themselves. Some people you need to lean on your brother, or you're like an accountability partner to some extent to check in on you But if you're super smart about it yourself and you hold yourself to that standard to know what path you don't want to go down, I think it's different person to person.
It's definitely the main concern that people need to understand what type of path they want to go through, especially people in nightlife and culture and
Sure.
in clubs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that I see face to face that love what they do, but it's just literally a ceiling. They're just a promoter, they're just a concierge. But I think the great thing, and I think the only reason why I think the only way that I can actually see this is actually, because you actually brought a brand new perspective, real talk, from as far as how to expand your company, expand your network, and actually make money in different areas, And I think since you're not necessarily in nightlife, you're the best person to actually exemplify. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm pretty much trying to ask is that not necessarily ask, but I think the problem is that people just think especially when people in nightlife, they think that that's all it is.
Well, I think not just people in nightlife, but I think everyone needs to stop normalizing what you do for a living cannot be one sentence answer. You shouldn't be this whole idea of this is what I do. People I sell tables. No, you're actually doing a whole lot more than that. The network of people that you really have access to, you should be attacking that network in many other ways and seeing learn about that business owner and start to deeply understand what it is he's doing. What are ideal partners or contacts that you might be able to introduce him to? Who do you know that is, say they're looking to buy real estate, connect them to somebody in real estate. Who do you know managing someone's, private equity? Connect them to that person. What business partner would be ideal for them that you already know and trust you? You can start hitting those relationships from so many different angles, and then you become a weapon. When you really become a weapon when you have that broad ecosystem of killers and connector, and you can connect business to ideas and capital to the right people, you can create a serious monster, and it ends up being really well for you. And it all, I think in Miami, which is an interesting point, I think social capital in many ways is more valuable than currency. And I think especially at a young age, investing in your network and doing what putting forth towards that intentionally and giving people those relationships and access. I'd love to see where it goes, a decade from now. But it is something you should really think about.
I've been thinking about that too, man, because I'm not broke, but I would definitely say that my social capital is supremely trumps how much money I pretty much have, or my net worth or whatever.
Right.
But that social capital can also get you to that network as well too. And I think here's another thing too. I think the social capital would actually pay off dividends in the long run because you actually gain that trust.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And also too, bro, when people actually come to you, and when people actually go to other people that they know you and they talk about you and yo, listen, Connor, he is the guy. he's the guy. Like, that is invaluable to the point where sky's the limit. And that's where I'm trying to go at right now. Like, like I'm not trying to just be necessarily a concierge host. Like I'm an entity. Like I'm a conglomerate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and I think go ahead.
There's total opportunities to be exactly that, and it should always be. They're not just gonna be presented, put it on your lap.
So
it's not gonna be like
work for that shit, bro.
It's not gonna fall on your lap and say, oh, it's not always gonna be this inbound. Hey, Marvel, who do you know that would be good for XYZ? It needs to be like you starting to really deeply understand your clients' businesses, their networks, and how can you help them? It's always about identifying a problem or finding out what relationship could be, and then always structuring something up front that's fair. It's like if I introduce you to that guy that could get you that contract, or to this person, like could we structure something up front where you would be able to be taken care of, and never do it on the back end. Always just be transparent and upfront. But if you got clients that trust you and you trust them, you start to just create a weapon from your network that turns into a much higher net worth.
One of the things too is that I realize is you gotta have like short-term memory when it comes to this type of business, man.
Yeah.
Because when shit doesn't necessarily go your way, or like you get burnt from like a freaking contract or whatever, or just like anything, or like you help this person that that doesn't necessarily is reciprocating the actual the offer or whatever, and you don't get anything out of it. Like I think one of the problems we have in my industry especially is that people take things way too fucking personally.
Yes, I mean, nightlife is and it's not really fair to me to say I'm any kind of expert within the nightlife world, but it's obviously a cutthroat business.
Yeah.
With you spend that much time in the clubs, and you're dealing with some bad characters and some people that do go off the wrong side.
Because you got burnt before, right?
Sure. Do you know how many times I put my credit card down for tables and I think I'm good?
Whew.
It's not fun sometimes, but then great. I identified early on that person's they don't belong in my circle. And once now my circle gets even more tight. I got a bad apple out, and
But then the next relationship should not suffer either, because you should have short-term memory and be able to compartmentalize. You know what I'm saying? And just because you went through something beforehand does not mean your new relationship you're gonna go through the same shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So I think that's kind of like I don't know if it's the New York mentality, man. I don't know what it is, because concrete jungle and just the way that we operate as far as Northerners, bro, we just fucking just move on. You know what I'm saying? If shit doesn't work out, listen, what's the next thing? How can we do it? And at the same time, if we want to help somebody, we're not gonna let them suffer through our past traumas. We'll learn from it, because there's no such thing as mistakes, only lessons.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But man, we can actually go so many directions right here. As far as with your experience and with everybody when it comes to nightlife in Miami and is traveling all around the world, what do you think is the one thing that people really fuck up when it comes to business and the things that are kind of just grind your gears to the point where?
I think everybody gets so goddamn greedy. It is so much easier for everybody to win than it is for you to keep your pie. People get so caught up about their profit margin on this, or them holding on to this relationship, and it gets so hyper competitive when it's you start to share that, you share the wealth with everybody else and give them an opportunity. I'd way rather have a piece of a watermelon than be eating an apple here. I think you want to build together, and it's also a whole lot more fun when everybody eats than when just you're eating. So everyone gets really cut up about trying to do things on their own and keeping, protecting their pockets, but you start trying to figure out how you can help other people's pockets. Your pockets get a whole lot bigger. And that's not just about pocket, it's not all about money. It's also about the whole nine.
Take care of
helping
people,
other. If you have a help others first mentality, where you're constantly always trying to help other people. And I feel that I am always trying to help somebody else, sometimes probably too much, where like, I think that all comes back tenfold. Like, I think that having that mindset where like I'm trying to help my friends eat, it all comes back because now I have a bunch of other people that are gonna help me build.
Yeah.
Do you know how many relationships that capital introductions or people that are introducing a genuine business partner to me that I get because I've taken care of them a few times without asking nothing for return. So now I've got, a serious group of friends and, family looking out for me.
Yeah.
If I got a serious group of friends looking out for me, I don't even spend time on sales calls.
Facts.
I don't have to reach out at all. It becomes inbound. I don't talk about what I do. People get curious at what I do, and I'll have friends trying to help me, move me forward, and I help them move forward. And then everybody moves together. I think in business and, a lot of people just want to eat them. They just want it all for themselves. And I think you really need to have a help others first mentality because it comes back, tenfold.
So I think one of the things I can actually attribute to what you said, is when it comes to the clubs and the nightlife and like the whole entertainment industry, the reason why and this is my personal opinion, the reason why so many people in the nightlife industry is greedy as shit is because they ain't got nothing else going on for them.
Yeah.
I've realized that when you just have one kind of source of income and that's, I don't know what it is, but for me, I got a bunch of shit going on as far as getting money from different places and trying to, being impactful and definitely providing value in other ways. But when people are just necessarily just focused on hey, I can try to get money from this one end, kind of clouds your judgment a little bit because you're not getting money from anywhere else.
100%. Yep. I mean, and you can talk about that on a small scale and a large scale. Small scale being okay, you're selling tables for a living. Guess what? Everybody that come to Miami that's buying tables, there's a good chance they're staying in a really nice 5-bedroom plus house. They're probably chartering a yacht that weekend. They're doing a whole bunch of other things than buying your $2,000-$3,000 table at a nightclub. And guess what? These clients that are buying tables, you go out of their way to go above and beyond. That's what they're gonna. Then you become a whole, friend of a referral business, of course. But then you go on a deeper level. You should be obsessed about what these people do, and separate. Okay, look the other way. This guy's doing whatever for his money. Yeah. Okay, but real guys that are doing the actual stuff, you want to become obsessed with what it is that try to understand what they do on a deeper level and figure out how you can really connect the dots.
Bro,
how do you bring their business? Yeah. You be wait, that's exactly what my best friend Steve does. You guys would be a great center. Try to really understand to bring their business, their livelihood from here to there. You're not a promoter anymore. You're not. You're not selling tables. You just move this dude's business forward. Or you just introduced him to a whole deeper, set of clients that's gonna help him. Now you've become a guy that sold tables to I owe you one. You have a bunch of people that owe you one. You just be patient. And everybody owes you one. I'd rather have people in that mindset than that's taking care of me for XYZ bill.
Yeah.
I'd rather take care of them knowing that hey. Now he feels like he owes me one, and I would love to know. I want to know about all his friends, all his boys from Chicago that all seem to be doing really well, or XYZ place. And then you make genuine friends because all you're trying to do is you have no bad intentions. You're trying to help them. Yeah. And then it comes back.
Bro, in the nightlife, man, I'll just say just to sum it up what you just said, and I can just pretty much speak because I'm in the nightlife. Bro, the best way to freaking retain clients is not only when they spend money, but if you can get them to make more money.
Of course.
That's literally. In a nutshell.
Yeah. That ain't just nightlife.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's
help,
everything.
Yeah, honestly. You help people's pockets and they will help you more. Yeah. Especially people that are in a more fortunate situation, which, if you're speaking about, that's generally, what it is. The clients that are buying all these $10,000 tables they're doing just fine. And you want to elevate elevate them, and it comes back tenfold.
Let's talk about networking real quick. To me, in my eyes, I think you're probably one of the only people that can definitely network better than me. Like you're a master at it, man. When it comes to techniques, when it comes to methods, as far as like bridging the gap or just connecting the dots, pretty much. What would you say if a person that is, let's just say if you have a 17-year-old Connor right now, right, that is about to do what you're about to do, but you want to give them advice as far as like, how do you actually become the best networker for your own craft? Like, what would be like your advice?
I mean, so naturally, you gotta, there's people that are better at it than others just because of a personality standpoint. Like I'm the most extroverted person I know. Like I'm always doing something, want to be around people, want to be engaging with people. So I think some people are a little more gifted than others in that respect. And I think, moving forward, I think people that always like to talk about what they do all the time aren't typically doing, those aren't genuine people that you like to be around. I think like keeping this kind of hidden, like making people wonder what the hell you do, have it be this inbound inflow, that's a more natural conversation, and it's way better for business.
Okay.
I'm not going out and bringing up business to people.
No, you're not. You're not a salesman at the end of the day.
No, you don't want to. I don't think so. From a business perspective, never be the first guy to tell you what you do. Typically, the person in those conversations that's really curious about what you like, trying to understand what you do, is typically the one that needs more help than the other person. So I think there's like there's an element of like making people curious about what you really do that makes it more like an inbound natural conversation. Miami is like, we're from in New York, like important people in New York, they're hard to get to.
Very.
They're getting smoked every day, calls.
Yeah.
They're in the dark corners of steakhouses. Like, important people in Miami, they're right next to you.
You can literally just grab them.
They're hanging out, and they see you all the time, and then it's like, it becomes this like natural, unbelievably easy way you have access to everybody here. Like, you do. Everybody.
Yeah, that's actually interesting, yeah.
It's like such an interesting, like, there's not a better place to do it than here. And then COVID obviously just tripled that when you have everybody else in the country, more shut down. So every week it's just this new groups of killers where like, people that have FOMO not being here should. Like, if you're in the business of networking where you should have had FOMO not being here the past year when the rest of the country was shut down and we were just blossoming. This place is just booming to an unbelievable extent. So like, it became pretty inbound. Like I never did this in New York. I kind of kept to my crew. Like I was in a relationship. I kept to my circle, and I was a consumption partier. I went out and I was like, I'm just out here to have fun. And like, I'm still, there's still always going to be an element where I enjoy this stuff.
What was that aha moment? Like, when did that happen? You were like, yo, I can literally party, but like definitely further my business. Like, when did that happen?
Well, I'd say like the first 3 weeks when I got down here, and you start to reflect on all the people that you had just met in those few weeks, and then like one handshake turned into a deal, another handshake turned into a deal, and I was like, wait a second, I'm closing business from going out. Like, I need to, that's way more. This is potential to be huge.
Yeah.
Like, and that growth just started happening like exponentially. Where like, my business is about, whether it's like raising capital or closing XYZ deals. Like, my network started like grow, like my ecosystem. I was like, and then you became a focus instead of like going out and blacking out and or chasing girls or whatever like the average consumption Miami lifestyle party is. I was like, this circle is getting real. And then I just started closing business here, closing business there, and it was all from people I met socially. And I happen to like, I'm not good at golf, but I'm good at going out. So like, I'd way rather do what I'm good at.
I need to learn how to play golf, man.
Yeah, trust me, I need to learn how to play golf.
Hey, I'm down. Whenever you want to fucking hit some
It's
putts.
hard in Miami to go golf.
Yeah, it
You want to go on a yacht, or you want to go sit in the sun and golf? Frustrating.
But that's another level of like doing business.
Of course, of course. And I'm not. Everyone has their different things.
Yeah.
Like we should be playing tennis. We should be out golfing. But for me, like you can't meet as many people as you can.
The trajectory is a lot
socially.
different
You meet an incredible amount of people very quickly.
Yeah.
And recognize what you're good at.
Here's another thing too,
and
bro.
what you're not. I don't want to see I don't want people to see me golfing right now.
I think it's funny. Here's another thing too. When it comes to networking, man, and just meeting people, bro, you can literally just run into like someone who can change your life at Starbucks here in Miami.
Yes.
Like it doesn't necessarily have to be at the Komodos or at the Poppy Steaks or like, the Carbones and all that or the Lives of Stories. That's great. That's a whirlwind of people you can definitely meet. But it's like the least you like the one moment that like you just want to just literally just get a coffee or get a freaking croissant is literally the time that you can actually have your life change.
You're a handshake away from someone changing your life, and that handshake will happen when you least expect it. So there's an element of that to always be, and something I could be better at, probably, right? Like, is protecting your brand, and what, some people it might look the wrong way, but hey, it also, there's a uniqueness and an art to that. Like, people really like, this is one of the more interesting people, that I've come across. But
so you think you actually play with fire when you do that?
Do I play with fire?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. My filter if I'm offending, it's a high bar.
Okay.
I accidentally offend people on the regular. I make people really not confused and understand. Like, if you see me out for 48 hours, like what is going on? But like there's an element where like, the more people wondering what the hell or how is he doing this or there is an accidental art to that when you're just different and you can function. Yeah. You can have that crazy weekend but never miss a meeting. Also be working out and doing so. Once you become that, you become like a more like a what is going on here? Like a mystic figure, a walking science experiment.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but I think so. There's
go ahead.
There's an element of, yes, it could happen at any point in time, but there's also an element of like, put yourself in these situations. I go to the Super Bowl every year. I go to Formula One races. I couldn't justify the Super Bowl ticket this year. I barely watch football since moving to Miami. I'm out in the boat, but like, I will always go to the Super Bowl. Okay. Because the people you meet at the Super Bowl are potentially life-changing for your growth. Yeah, I got the people you meet at Formula One races or the people you meet at the most expensive table for XYZ event, or now there's an element of intentionally surrounding yourself with the right people, and it's also becomes, making $100,000 a month seems really hard until you start hanging out with people that make $1 million a month. Yeah, and you can put that on a smaller scale. Making $10,000 a month sounds really hard for you. Start hanging out with people making $50,000 a month, like you naturally just start doing that, and then life's all about deal flow and learning from others and how we connecting the dots and just learning from people that are doing better than you to like it just naturally starts happening for you. Yeah. And you just start raising the bar. And so like it's also an element of like find out what it is that you're really good at, and then be understanding of what you're really not good at. And I'm a big believer in like the George Washington mentality. George Washington was not a smart guy, but he's found the smart people. He realized that he wasn't the smartest. He always found the smartest people. He'd have James Madison on his side doing this, or so always acknowledging that you're not the smartest in the room is also exponential for like growing you as a person. Surround yourself with people that are good at what you're not good at. Yeah. And then like what you're good at, do what you're good at. Like I am good at the relationships, investor relations, raising capital, looking at deals. I'm not good at, crunching numbers in Excel, sitting in a cubicle doing others. It is not for me. I couldn't do it anymore. Like I need to be out there meeting people because I'm dangerous when I'm out in a good way. Like I become a social weapon. I can really create strong relationships very quickly. and I'm good with people. Like I have to be doing that. I'm not so good at doing this other stuff. Find people that are better at doing that. than me.
It's all about diving into your weaknesses. I mean, diving into your strengths and finding other people that can fill your weaknesses.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then always just don't play the hater game. Okay? Don't
People in Miami, man, they be doing that shit, bro. You want to talk about it? You want to talk about it?
You know what? Sure. Speaking of talk about it, there's also people that are. Why is everyone so goddamn obsessed about talking about other people? Like, surround yourself with people that are talking about businesses, ideas, personal growth. Like, every time I hear someone talking about other people, I'm like, damn, I kind of like this guy, but he just doesn't shut up. Like, are we in high school? It becomes this little gossip circle, and it's like, I'm allergic to it. I am allergic to drama and this all getting in between. I'm like, yo, you guys do this. I don't
Leave me alone.
I don't engage in this.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
At all. And I can't even. It makes my stomach hurt hearing people at a dinner table just talking about a bunch of other people the whole time. I'm like, I'm not going back to dinner with them because all they do is talk about. Since when do you grow talking about other people? Like you waste half of your life in these little gossip circles, talking about other people and hating and like, it's like, what do you got? It's such a waste of life and energy.
Yeah. I mean, you said it best, man. I mean, I don't necessarily do that. The only way I'm definitely talking about somebody. Thanks for taking my water, by the way. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm gonna share it with you.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
But the only way I'm talking about people, man, is it's in a great light, man. That's it. But unfortunately, a lot of people here, man, it doesn't necessarily work like that. But what can you do?
That's the powerful thing of how to build your business is for people in a room that when you're not around talking positively about you or introducing you as an ideal partner for XYZ or like bringing you up in a room full of opportunity. Like that's how you grow exponentially is when you have other people speaking, positively about you and introducing you to those opportunities. So I think like you want to be that guy. You don't want to be the guy with a bunch of enemies. So like why engage in all this immature?
I never understood that.
Huh?
I never understood that.
I don't get it.
Like there's power. Like people, they really think that there's power with creating enemies.
I don't get it. You can create enemies that don't really know you, and you accidentally create this group of envious or haters or like people that just don't connect with you or feel whatever. You're gonna have people that love you, and you're gonna have people that hate you. You can't get obsessed about it. You just got to move forward and be you.
Yeah.
But
the difference is people respecting you, though. That's I think that's the key right there. You don't need fucking enemies. You just need people that will respect you. Like for instance, like Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. Like what I'm saying, he wasn't the most likable guy.
Nope.
But everybody respected his game.
100%.
Everybody did. Nobody questioned that he was one of the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's how people need to pretty much implement it. Man, I mean, I could definitely go on for hours about this, man. But I know we kind of need to necessarily wrap it up. Anything new that's happening with you, man? Connor, I need to anything new. What's happening? I know you're going to Mykonos this summer. I know you're gonna start crushing it and go all over the world again once this war opens up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing?
Well, I hope the war doesn't.
No, world.
World.
Yes.
Oh yes. No, I think it has been the best time to travel ever, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah.
I kind of liked you think about some of the other pockets of the world. One, it's like a bunch of like-minded people that are all out and about because it's a demographic of people that don't really care about hiding in shelter and being nervous about their environment. So you're accidentally just surrounding yourself with a bunch of like-minded people that are like, I'm gonna live my life.
Yeah.
So now like the group of people that are traveling are better than they used to be, and then you have a lot of these rules like these more like COVID capacity. Picture like COVID capacity rules at some of these venues created like, okay, only an XYZ amount of certain people can get in. It's gonna be a better breed of people. It's gonna be more conversations, less shoulder to shoulder. Like, so I loved all the rules in Mykonos because everybody that got into that area there was like a higher caliber group of people. There's more conversations. I'm less shoulder to shoulder. So it's a better a better vibe. But for me, it's not all about money. I think it's, you have wealth, financial freedom, plus the relationships in your life, and then your lifestyle divided by stress. So like, I'm focused on how I'm gonna enjoy myself just as much as I am about building my business. And it's like, it might look, and sometimes it becomes a distraction, but it's like, I think these relationships that I'm building are, in the long run, will pay off way more than me hunkering down and not going out for a month and getting a lot of my stuff done. For me, it's like, I have confidence in these people that I'm meeting, or relationships that I'm fostering, being more important in the long run than me hunkering down and putting my head down, which to some extent you can always do more of, but it depends, your business and your what you're good at. Like, so I'm gonna keep traveling. I think life's not meant to be lived in one place with the same few people. I think you should constantly be on the move because you learn so much from traveling. You learn about different cultures. You meet more people with diverse backgrounds. It's like it should be a part of everybody's life. Like, a life without travel isn't a life at all, in my opinion. So constantly being on the move and trying to surround myself and really curate that crowd to continue to be better and better, to where we roll as a team and we go out and have, we take over a whole city in another country, and there's nothing more fun than that.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I'm about to actually say a couple of phrases or maybe a couple of words, and tell me the first thing that you actually think of. Ready?
Okay.
All right. Nightlife.
Network.
Business.
I could say network again.
Well, it's another word.
Yeah. Business. First word or phrase you're saying?
I'll say first. Yeah. Just what's the first thought that comes in your mind when you think about those words?
Multiple.
Family.
Most important.
11.
Quite a time.
Quiet time to say the least, man. Quiet time to say the least.
Quite a unique place, and that's an example of like that. That's got to be the most well-run operation, if we're seeking nightlife, then that there is.
To me, I think right now it's the best club in the world right now.
Yeah. So when I just moved here, I brought Gino and Danny I invited them to the Super Bowl with me.
Oh, nice.
I spent like $10,000 each on these guys. They didn't even know who I was. And they're like, we really appreciate that. You didn't have to do that. Like, let us know what I owe you. And I was like, no, don't worry about it. We're like, well, we're happy to help you out. We're not the worst guys to know. And I was like, I looked at him. I was like, what do you think? I'm stupid? They'll tell you this. We were driving to the Super Bowl with Gino and Danny, the owners of 11. I was like, of course I know you. I know you're not the worst guys to know. Those guys have had my back and introduced me to everybody. And that just started creating a serious ecosystem of people where, like, I just had moved here 2 months ago, and they're real guys. That whole fat team is like a bunch of real people that look after each other. I haven't seen one employee leave there since I've been here.
Bro, it's a different
that whole family just stays together.
Culture, bro. It really is.
Nobody leaves.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm really proud to I did my relaunch over there, the rooftop. I did that. I'm proud to exclusively be a partner with them as well too for that brand.
Yeah.
I owe a lot to them, and I'm gonna continue to keep on doing just work with them as well too. You know what I'm saying?
I will too. I think the 11 residences is like the beginning of a whole
dimension.
There's a whole lot more. There's going to be towers in every city. It's going to be a lifestyle brand. It's going to be like this amazing exclusive community with unbelievable growth. And the vision is, what nightclub that sold $4 million in hats?
Bro, so let me tell you something. Before we wrap up, I have this prediction with like Dennis and like, about 11, which I'll tell you off air. But let's just say like the DeGore family is about to be like one of the most important families in the fucking world.
Yep, they're all great people.
Yeah, even now, right now they are, but like my prediction is gonna actually transcend that. Connor, man, appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Anything else? I think we're good. I think that's it.
I think I got pretty much everything off my chest. Can't
definitely, man. Where to find you? Social, everything else too, or want to just give similar plugs with like your company as well? You want to do that?
All good. It's good to be mysterious.
Okay. We'll keep it like that.
Hawk Wade if you want. But I'm
Hawk
not,
Wade, Instagram, that's all you need to
I
know.
ain't paying for my
if you need to find them, find them.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, man.
All right,
Appreciate
brother.
you, man.
That's me.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.